the Deputy Vice Chancellors present, Deans of Faculties, Heads of Departments and Members of Staff, students online, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a sense of pride that I invite you to this week's installment of Vice Chancellor's webinar series entitled The Regenerative Nationalism of Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, Its Implication for Higher Education. This series are part of the university's agenda of recentering its academic project, as Professor Siep has already alluded to. In so doing, we have gone further to set the university on a path that is less traveled, the path of transforming the university into a truly African university. Not simply a university in Africa. This is a dream, and I dare hope we achieve it in our lifetime. The call by our students for the decolonization of our curriculum is strictly linked to our struggle for liberation. This is an anti-colonial struggle that has been waged over centuries. Our struggle is to create a university that Kwame Nkrumah, Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, Nelson Mandela, Steve Biko, and others wanted to bequeath to the African youth and to the African people. In hosting this series, we remind ourselves that while most of the time we may be distracted by operational issues or having to respond at times to external pressures, the primary focus and function of the university must remain largely academic and intellectual. We are in the business of knowledge, in which knowledge is created, packaged, and disseminated. We are painfully conscious of the fact that our efforts are also dictated by the social, cultural, and historical location. We are descendants of great minds and remarkable men and women who taught us to think big. These are individuals who gave their all to ensure that we can at least reclaim our humanity. Theirs was a political struggle, and no force was big enough to discourage their cause. No mountain was too big to climb, nor the river too deep to cross. These heroes and heroines took an oath and ensured that freedom will come in their lifetime. In acknowledging the contribution of men and women of science before him, Sir Isaac Newton famously and humbly said, quote, "That I have seen further than the others, it is because I stood on the shoulders of the giants," close quote. For this part, the former president, Nelson Mandela, not only acknowledged his forebears, but also ordinary folks who find themselves in the periphery of our society. These are people whose cause for justice, both Mandela, Sobukwe, Sisulu Mbeki, Winnie Mandela, Ruth Mompati, Gertrude Shope, and Albert Sisulu, and many others championed. In this inimitable humility, Mandela had to say, I quote, "To the extent that I've been able to achieve anything, I know that this is because I am the product of the people of South Africa. I am the product of the rural masses who inspired in me the pride in our past and the spirit of resistance. I am the product of the workers of South Africa who, in the mines, factories, fields, and offices of our country, have pursued the principle that the interests of each are found in the common interest of all. I am the product of Africa and a long cherished dream of a rebirth that can now be realized so that all of her children may play in the sun. If I've been able to help take our country a few steps towards democracy, non-racialism, and non-sexism, it is because I'm a product of an African National Congress, of the movement for justice, dignity, and freedom that clothes countless giants in whose shadow we find our glory. Close quote. I think all of us seated here today and listening to this presentation I'm making receive the call that we are the children of Mandela, we are the children of the same dreams they had for our country. The stories they told are the stories we are telling today. I've deliberately prefaced today's lecture as a way of locating ourselves in history. Marcus Garvey warns us that a people without the knowledge of their past history, original culture, is a tree without roots. To the extent that we are here, it is because of our history of struggle. Ours is a new struggle to finish what Mandela and company started. These preliminary remarks are deliberate. They are about recentering. They are about reimagining the future. They are about reimagining this University of Zululand. They are about intellectual and cultural reclamation. They are about reclaiming our humanity as Africans. The University of Zululand is proud to present itself as a reliable partner in this journey. We do this with full knowledge that this path would not be easy, but we are determined. We find wise counsel in this regard from what Madiba said. I quote, "I've walked that long road to freedom. I've tried not to falter. I've made missteps along the way. But I've discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, only one finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment here to reset, to rest, to steal a view of the greatest vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come, but I can only rest for a moment. With freedom come responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended." I close quote. We could do no better in this regard than to start with a lecture that celebrates one of Africa's creative minds, Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe. For so doing, there is no better person than Professor Kwesi Pram, a scholar in his own right, a humanist, a restless spirit that is permanently fighting for Africa's space in the global landscape and the mindscape. Program Director, Professor Siepe, I now hand over to you this program, as well as asking you to introduce our speaker for the day, Professor Kwesi Pram. Thank you.